It helps if I turn my mic on. Good evening. It is currently August 14th, 2021, 8:38 p.m. We're gonna get back to some Ace Attorney Chronicles, baby. Let's do this. Ohayo gozaimasu! That's like making my face all red. There we go. Let's continue, shall we? Objection. Turn the awesome music on too. Yes, let's continue saving from our save data. Okay. This dude. Alright. That's a special order, sir. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Whoa, okay. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san's reach Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even be a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuzuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off of him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. Don't tell us who the murderer is. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignments, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Permission to investigate, please? We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not!
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I would do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how...
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hasanagawa could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright. Yes, I think I might know what to use. Okay, we'll present something. Present. We had the paper seal. A speckled band. Present that. Ah, this is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe doors this morning, isn't it? That's right. To try and stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me. Wouldn't it have been better to write it in English if you didn't know Russian? Maybe, but Ufuda paper amulets like this are a part of our culture, Inspector. And I thought if I made it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside. He's like, oh god. It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it? Alright, what would be... Was it this one, maybe? Let's present that. What's that?
Hiya! It's Kazuma's diary.
Bad Wolfos, yo! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome, Raiders! How is your stream? Ooh, Pikuniku. How is that? I've heard interesting things. I would need to know more about that game. But welcome, welcome.
Just before he died, Kazazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way? I thought I would have more people. No worries. I will take any number, my dear sir.
I welcome all. He wrote what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right, so if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what that speckled band was. It's a fun little game. It's a light puzzle platformer, and it's genuinely funny in a way I think most comedy games are not. Huh, interesting. I like puzzles. I'll have to check that out. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. My only complaint would be that if I wish the puzzles were more challenging, but they're mostly still compelling. Well, that's good at least. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san.
Yeah, okay, so select move and we can move. Okay. Sounds good. Let's do that. Alright, let's move next door, baby. See what we got. First class passageway.
Going on a journey. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Biora, first class cabin passageway.
Phew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage.
Really? A That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even if he is sitting down.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs?
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please, don't give me that pitying look. Alright, what do we got? Maps. Maps are always helpful in Ace Attorney. This looks like the plan of the SS Bura. It shows each deck. Look.
The Bura is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering.
Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan?
Yes. They're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them.
Well, I suppose so. That wasn't a really good explanation, but I'll take it. What's this? That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it?
Yes, that looks like the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment.
I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report. So that's the door.
That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it. Just a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. Oh, Pinakunu also has co-op levels. Ooh, you're enticing me, dear sir. I like it.
I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there.
No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Alright. What's up, Mr. Burly Sailor Man? Excuse me, but could I ask you something? No, you little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class lady's maid.
Oh.
Well, you seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Suzato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman. Beef Stroganoff. Ace Attorney and their names. Alright, Biff Stroganoff. Phew. Best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. First class cabin area. Mr. Stroganov, about this first class cabin area? Here we are in the finest part of Bureau steamship for a very important person. Buttery! What's up? It's been, like, a whole year since we've known each other. Such a long time has passed. How are you? You made it. Welcome! You haven't missed too much, other than we got permission to check out the cabin next door. That's about all you missed. And this guy's name is Beef Stroganoff. I mean, Biff Stroganoff. We all know what that stands for. What sort of very important persons? But how's your day today, Buttery? How was your day today, Bad Wolfos, if I haven't asked you already? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid Stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in the ocean, but Stroganov is not animal. Thank you?
If I may, I was wondering...
It's a pretty chill day for me. I started watching the second Gundam movie before I started streaming. Nice. How goes it? Pretty well so far. Poor kiddo is sick at the moment. He's got the little sniffles, so I snuggled with him for a bit. He played Mario, and we watched the new Space Jam movie, and an episode of Kuma 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 Bear. He's doing a little better.
Is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Da! Suzato-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no.
Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing.
What about the passenger? Can you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh and racist. Spilling water because I'm special. Okay.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
It was good. I had to work today on my day off. Boo. But turned out good for me. Oh, did you get like some overtime or something? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time. I work a 9-hour shift tomorrow. Whew, that is long. I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins.
You never get overtime? Oh, that sucks.
He must be rather important, is that right?
That is not your business. Last night? Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all time, so criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
Longest I'm allowed to work is 8 hours, but GM let me work 9. Whew, it's a long time. It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Hit! Suzato-san, did you understand that? Seaman Stroganoff, yep.
It was clearly a no.
I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all. And And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? He's not looking at us. I said no! Sorry. He's hiding something. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Okay then.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. Alright, so we got the guy to leave. What have we not seen? I guess we need to look over here. The hell is that?
Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait.
Let me see. Yes, I think that is what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. It's delicious.
You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers.
Really? But, I suppose you're right.
You weren't actually gonna try it, were you?
All I had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later.
Alright, what's in here? First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship.
This is more than likely the time when I joined your stream, so now it's officially been a year. Woohoo! Happy 1 year, Buttery. Thank you for supporting me this long. Japan not knowing what cheese is. I mean, I guess they didn't have it back in the day.
My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way.
500? How many cabins are there? Let's see. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it!
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop, the ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
Just like the good old days, my phone is almost dead. It's at 9%. Oh, Buttery. Keeping it like old school. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that when he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. I think I got rid of the command. Let me see. Yeah, I got rid of the command. Boo. The command used to say, charge your damn phone, biscuit. But I think I got rid of it once when you got a new phone.
No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying.
Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. No Sholmes.
9th of January, SS Pura, first class, cabin number 2.
Who the fuck is you? Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Miss Grimsley's Roylott, I believe? Yes, that's me, and you are? I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective amongst great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within the walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit into a small truck like that? Well, it is quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me! Well, fuck, there's something in there.
Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the case just shook. Leave, now. Otherwise, I'll call the steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
He's just not gonna let us... Why is he sitting in there? Sherlock? What are you doing? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh.
And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually. You're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know which is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh yes, please.
Oh boy, here we go. Well then, what are you about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Okay, sir, if you say so. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone.
That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all evidence. It bases the judgment.
Russian on account of his dubiousness. Yeah, Sholmes is kind of weird. I must have complete silence. This game is very racist overall, I've noticed. This game hate Russians. It's very accurate for its time period that it takes place in. It's racist toward everybody. Well, what are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. Huh? There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What? What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not?
Oh, Naruhoda-san! I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction.
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle.
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Airlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true!
I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Okay. Oh, we get a new minigame. Alright, let's go. Old man's identity. Okay. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hands. Now, we must ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular this fascinating front-page article. Which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I am sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Borshchev flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Borshchev. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. That don't seem right, though. Topic 2, wrongdoing. Okay. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah! And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits here before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps. One slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup de vol betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of the newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. You named the ballerina after Nicholas Pavlov? As in, like, Pavlov's dogs? Seriously? Oh, Ace Attorney. Alright. This concludes Erlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. Okay then, that was certainly a thing. This game is good. It is. Suzuto-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina? Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of the small case.
Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes.
This whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, something occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off.
Your idea of a little, maybe a little off itself, Miss Suzato.
It's just 1 or 2 key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some key words in his deductions?
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought I was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? Whoa, what the?
Ah! Where are your handcuffs?
Huh?
How did...
I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylett. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hands. Alright, so this is where I start correcting him, right? I would say... I guess I can't correct him yet? Okay. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring at us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting quite right with Mr. Voilat either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruto-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Voilat.
I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better.
Sholmes got it wrong? Nah, how could that be? Cartman, what's up? How are you doing? Then what?
Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in the last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Whoa, what the golden locks? What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. Alright, present that.
Yes!
The gold locks. Nice, I like this dance. Little. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. He went from the shy little goody two-shoes to look at this little mischievous grin. I love this boy. He's so cute. I might have a new video game son. I'm pretty well had a blast at MegaCon today. Nice! I attended a Gundam Wing presentation! So who's best boy in Gundam Wing? Because we gotta talk. The answer is almost all of them are best boys, but I have to hear your reason as to why they are best boy. And saw many cosplayers. Nice. I haven't watched Gundam Wing in forever. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all, you're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? Let's see. What? What are you staring at me like that? After so many other Gundam series. Okay, Wolfos, let me tell you now. As much as I love Gundam Wing, keep in mind it is a piece of its time in history. It was out in the 90s? Or maybe early 2000s? It is still extremely 90s, very much 2000s. It doesn't age super well, but it is, if you can keep that in mind, it was great for its time period, then yeah, it was good.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business.
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholmes' deductions, shall we? The evidence that he picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true, given that Mr. Voilat is actually a woman.
I mean, I'm watching the original Gundam anime films now, so, like, I get that. Okay, as long as you get that, then you're good. The only Gundam films I've seen is Gundam Wing, so that's why. I can only speak for that one.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else.
I think Duo was my favorite and Sally Poe was best girl. I don't remember who Sally Poe was. Wait. No, I think I know who Sally is now. I had to think about that for a bit. Duo. Almost all my friends love Duo the most. Mine changed all the time. I think when I was younger, I liked Quattro, or Quatre, however you pronounce his name. But I think when I finished watching the series, Troa was my favorite. Was the one I couldn't stand. She was the Butters of the team. Oh, that's hilarious. He's not my favorite anymore, but he's definitely the top for me. Like, near the top for me. I like, honestly, I like all of them except Wu Fei. Wu Fei was the only one I was not a fan of. But all the other boys I liked. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Which one is that one? About the ballerina, yes. Present that one.
Yes!
But yeah, Troa was definitely my favorite. The evidence that reveals your identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nohovech Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Nohovech Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Ah! Found ya.
You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Got it. So obviously kidnapping of a young ballerina is not it. Alright, I gotta get something to drink and something to snack on. I'll be right back. Alright, thank you for your patience. We are back. Now, for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing the most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well.
No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I see I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another
Chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes.
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what the woman is up to. Wait, what's up with the crown? Tiara? How many times he's gonna say the eyes speak more eloquently line? A lot. Look at the dazzling tiara.
I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on!
What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on?
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful.
Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently.
Yes!
The tiara? The proof of your crime is surely this tiara.
Ah!
I believe this tiara was worn on stage by the dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it is an item worth 20,000 rupees. So in summary, the crime you have committed is theft.
Oh no!
Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you.
Ah! I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone and I need money.
Go eat dinner, have a good rest of the stream. The fun dealing with airlock shows. Thank you, Bad Wolfos. Enjoy your lurk.
It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me.
This girl's only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now.
Come, come, let us not be hasty.
What?
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish for it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Dad has a car! What's up? How are you doing? How's your evening going? I've never seen Ace Attorney in 3D. This is the newest one, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Or at least the newest in the States. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I ever laid eyes on them. I'm good! Staying awake. How about you? Dear me. We are not well suited for a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tact with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of this? It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh.
Airlock Sholmes. Yes. Mr. Spaceman, how are you? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. What happened to his hair? This is not Phoenix Wright. This is a, I guess Phoenix Wright is a descendant of this dude. This is, Natohoto-san. This takes place a very long time ago. Just had me working closing shifts a lot, so I'm tired. Mood, I understand that. I haven't done working, like, closing shifts in a long time, but I remember those.
Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. Oh, I thought he just sniff for character development. Nope. He did go hobo, though, in Apollo Justice, though. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her glance in the direction of the bookshelf. No, it's not. No. Oh my god. Why is this thing suddenly hard to control? Small picture. Rules of passage. I guess a small picture? No, because her gaze is more this way. What's the rules of passage?
Yes!
Is she a stowaway too? Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Bet you it's a pet. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carnage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves with one possibility, Miss Pavlova, inside your traveling case. Is a pet. Ding ding ding. Got him. Elementary, my dear Watson. Your voice acting is good. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to work on it. Although for the main character, I'm just using my natural voice. So clearly you aren't who you said you were.
No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct.
You're absent during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. Notice you, senpai. You got it. Hey, Dad has a car. How are you doing? Mwah. Hope you're doing good. I love you. Oh, whoa, Sussy Baka. As you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out that scream we heard from inside the cabin? Probably a dog, maybe? The veritable tinkling of a bell. Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me? As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man. I see. Reaper's Legend, how are you? Mwah! Thank you for coming to the stream. Heart you. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came here, I saw in the newspaper.
Can't decide what voice I want to give Pavlova yet. Howdy, no problemo. How's your night going, Reaper's Legend? Sorry for eating a snack on stream. I'm just kind of have the munchies.
Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me.
Going okay so far? Nice. Oh, whoa, Sassy Baka angry. Oh no, why are you angry? Night's going pretty well. Kiddo's asleep. Kiddo was a little bit sick earlier today. But now he's happily resting. Or at least he's happy, so that was good. We finished watching the new Spaceman? I can't speak today. Space Jam movie. It was alright for what it was. It seemed like it was trying to smash every IP in existence in there. Sonya looks nervous, right? Does this not look like a Sonya from Danganronpa, but in another universe? Because it totally does look like her. You're right, Cartman. At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Suzuto's like, what?
Things like that happen sometimes, don't they?
She's got a cool hat. Hell yeah, she does. They used all of their resources they had to make that a good continuation. That is fair, Reaper. 100% fair. You got a good point there. Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There is just one more thing I would like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case?
You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world.
Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of their crew...
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night.
Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Shum's great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh? Yes? What? Observe your wrists. My...
Ah! Your hands are cuffed again.
What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why?
There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Speckled band? Is it that? Hold on. That's the only thing that would be anything semi-resilient to it.
Don't touch!
Huh? I will tell you what I know about last night, but please! You must not touch my things! How do you say, forbid it? Oh, sorry. As well as you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have. Poking around in a young lady's private belongings. Neither shall I allow it. Hypocrite. Alright, then we already checked the vent. That... Nothing suspicious in the bag. Alright, so then what can I examine? Checkmark is like I've already seen it. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. I guess that means I just gotta talk to somebody? I guess, because we can't really find anything new. The bookshelf looks sus. Yeah, it really does.
No touch!
Huh?
I will tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things.
Yes, yes, we saw that. Alright, fine. We'll talk. What happened? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died. He was a friend of mine.
Oh!
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking?
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. What's going on? You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet?
Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America.
Excuse me.
I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of the ship, they have been too kind to me. they let me come on board, and they said I could hide in his cabin.
If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum.
Yes, it does.
How selfish. Yeah, maybe. We don't know the whole story yet.
What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... What is the conundrum? Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to the newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Bureau stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard?
Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that.
This guy looks so rich. Yeah, he really does.
Is it just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard?
That is not your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry? What was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel.
Sure, you did. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist the touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from the wonderfully extravagant advertisement for The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, in fact. So you wrote it yourself. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Fine, my friend. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious...
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard.
Ah!
So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? Is it?
Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Ha! You credit Russia as a land of small rabbits, do you? Oh? Don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may as well ask. I have no idea. Watch it be a rat. I'm gonna laugh if it is a rat. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Wait, a chicken? A chicken? I mean, chickens are cool and all, but why is that associated with ballerina? Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of subsistence. They have a rabbit-proof fence, yes. Say you'd eat your friend. You'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. Maybe laying those dances with chickens. Guarantee you it's a rat. Promise you it's gonna be a rat. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it? Oh? What on earth are we showing her? A speckled band thing, then? I don't know. We'll try different things. Let's try her this one. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. He bends backward like a JoJo character.
His diary?
Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator's grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together.
Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps?
I think the star thing. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
No. I don't know anything.
Oh. I think she does, though. But she won't tell us. Excuse me, Mr. Roylotz. Yas, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak to you. You must come to Captain quarters at once, please. Alright, I will come now. What? You must leave, now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott.
Get out! The passenger said out! Or do you want me to throw you out? Ugh. Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. Is he holding a dagger? He's holding scissors.
What a pity.
And so we lost our chance. How is this not sus? Everything is sus. Having still not managed to investigate Mr. Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Was he holding safety scissors? It certainly didn't look like it. Certainly didn't look like it.
Ninth of January, SS Pura, first class, cabin, passageway. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that.
I wish we managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be.
We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door.
He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. How do they make scissors safe? Like, you can still cut yourself. They make it a lot harder. So it's like children's scissors, right? Instead of regular scissors, the tips are more rounded than they are sharp. So it makes it a lot harder to stab yourself with them or stab somebody else with them and cut. But you still can. It's just, A lot less likely. Oh, wait a minute.
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go?
Oh, yes. He completely disappeared.
When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring that these were securely back on my wrists. Alright, we investigate some more, I guess. Saw all that. I guess we can try to get more info out of him. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe. You want me to throw you out again, Oh, no. Definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter, understand? Understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face.
I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san.
I don't know what else to investigate.
That door leads to the second-class area.
It's locked. I can't open it.
No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
Gosh, she gave me a really stern look when she said that. That book on the top table there really is huge. There's a pen with it, too.
Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log.
Okay, I think we already looked at this. Yeah, we've already looked at this before. Yeah, last night's log is mostly blank. Okay, we got that already. I guess let's just go back to our own room. Nothing really else we can do. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's.
Yes, we're a stowaway, I get it. Alright, let's see if Mr... Can we move? Yeah, let's move, because we can't really find anything here. So let's go to Kazuma's cabin, I guess. Nothing we can really do there.
9th of January, SS Bureau. First class, cabin number 1.
Looks like they're still investigating in here.
Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Hasanagwa is unsinged.
What do you mean, unscathed?
Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Alright. There he is. Let's talk to him. Oh, damn. He got beat up. Is he okay? Ha, you're back.
Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is...
Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to.
Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabaret.
Yes, so I understand.
Oh.
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Airlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Alright, so the cabin next door. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful?
If I am honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hang over to the Hong Kong police. So, I'm just keeping watch here, try not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh, I see.
Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh? What?
Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please.
Alright, new information? What's that? What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Bureau's medical officer has finished examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Ooh, excellent. Let's see. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report?
Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There was no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as of yet, but the fact is that there are no signs of a wound. Suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see.
All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce net death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wounds would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this captain in the first place, would I? Ah. Great detective. Hold on a second. Okay, the great detective.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? Wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Huh. Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it was shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. Are we sure it's shoe polish? What is it, Susato-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan here.
Dark tan? Sort of dark brownish red then.
Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that the mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scruffed on the floor? Maybe. It doesn't seem that easy, though. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you.
Poor Inspector, you look exhausted.
Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. That is bizarre. And I am going to end the stream a little early tonight just because I'm pretty exhausted, but thank you guys for coming out so much. I promise the next stream will be longer. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.